The Joe Rogan Experience.
Let me think about what I think about things instead of being inundated by all these other people's thoughts constantly all day long, which is valuable. It's good to get other people's perspectives on things. I think it enriches you, but at a certain point in time, you become captive to it. And I think there's just too many people that are captive to other people's thoughts.
I think so too. That's why I'm so close-minded. And I really am. I'm truly close-minded, and I think you're open-minded. And
I try to be.
And I struggle with that because just letting people pour information into my head, you know, I just tend to avoid it. I am engaged, you know, in that I do follow things closely, and not the stock market, but everything else. But you know, that's been a little bruiser.
Don't follow the stock market right now. It's so baffling. It's so crazy. Like, what is going on? Like, the whole world is mad at us. Trump's playing golf, and in between swings, he's on the phone with presidents of countries. Yeah. We're gonna need more money.
Yeah, that's what somebody told me the other day. Like, is he playing checkers? Is he playing chess? He's playing golf.
He's playing golf. Like, what does that mean? Everybody wants to think there's some like grand plan to it. Well, they think the grand plan is, look, you know, we remember back when was it the 92 elections when Ross Perot was in?
Mm-hmm.
So when Ross Perot laid out what happened, do you remember during that debate where Ross Perot laid out what happened with the tariffs? So that, like, when we try to sell stuff over there, we get a high tariff. It's like a 35% tariff, but they don't get tariffs when it comes over here. It's not the same. It's not like, you know, you guys, there's a tax on everybody if you want to sell your goods to encourage people to buy American products. If you want to sell your products in America, we get a tax. That tax goes to the fucking grid or whatever the hell they're fixing with it.
Right.
Ross Perot was laying it out like this is how all the jobs went to Mexico. Because, have you ever seen that, Jamie? It's see if you can find it. It's a great speech. Because Ross
When he talked about the giant sucking sound?
Yes. You actually mentioned that earlier in the podcast.
That's what I was talking about.
Yes, that's it. That's funny. Did you just see that recently or something?
No, I just remember it.
Oh, boy. The giant
he would have been a great president.
I voted for him.
He had big ears. You know, he didn't come across well on TV.
Independent. He was an independent. And nobody was voting for independent. By the way, they changed the whole way debates work after this, because it used to be if you got 5% of the vote in the primary that you could be a part of the presidential debates. And that's not the case anymore. Or it was 5% in a poll. I forget what the number was that you had to reach, but it wasn't a high threshold. And then you could be a part of the debate. And they changed the shit out of that after this because Ross Perot tanked it. They thought HW was going to go for a second term.
Right.
And meanwhile, Ross Perot fucked it up because a lot of people that would have voted for Bush voted for Ross, and the people that were already going to vote for Clinton voted for Clinton, and Clinton won. But play this, Jim.
$13, $14 an hour for factory workers. And you can move your factory south of the border, pay $1 an hour for labor, hire a young 25. That's assuming you've been in business for a long time. You've got a mature workforce. Pay $1 an hour for your labor. Have no health care. That's the most expensive single element making a car. Have no environmental controls, no pollution controls, and no retirement. And you don't care about anything but making money. There will be a giant sucking sound going.
There it is, right there.
That's it.
If the people send me to Washington, the first thing I'll do is study that 2,000-page agreement and make sure it's a two-way street. One last point here. I decided I was dumb and didn't understand it, so I called a who's who of the folks who've been around it. And I said, why won't everybody go south? They said, we'll be disrupted. I said, for how long? I finally got them up for 12 to 15 years. And I said, well, how does it stop being disruptive? And that is when their jobs come up from $1 an hour to $6 an hour and ours go down to $6 an hour, then it's leveled again. But in the meantime, you've wrecked the country with these kinds of deals.
Jesus Christ,
he was
what
right.
a fucking smart man.
He was right. And that's exactly what happened. American manufacturing collapsed. Yeah, and they did it all for money. And they did it all because they were greedy. They were already rich.
Right.
And if we could have just gotten those motherfuckers some ayahuasca,
Jesus Christ, they'd have smoothed the fuck out, man.
they would have said, oh, okay.
Yeah, let's be nice.
Let's make America great again.
I don't understand the trade war with Canada, because have you ever met a Canadian that had $35 in his pocket? No. They're all broke. They have $22. That's
Really?
And they'll buy you a beer I love
They're all
Canadians.
broke?
I've always, they're broke. They don't have any money up there.
How come they don't have any money?
Because it's socialism. They just I think it's a great place. Don't you love Canada?
I love it. Well, they have
Yeah.
socialized medicine, but it's a capitalist society.
It is, but socialized medicine, and it's expensive. So
What percentage of the Canadians pay in taxes?
So I don't know.
Let's find that out. What's the Canadian tax rate? I know it's higher than Americans.
I know mine's a bitch.
And when you go over there, you have to pay taxes too. Like if you do a gig.
You have to pay taxes.
Yeah, you pay Canadian taxes on your
and
gig.
you get paid in Canadian dollars. I'm not going up there much for shows.
Yeah.
But,
So here it is. Canada's top federal income tax rate is 33%, while the U.S. is 37%.
Right.
However, when combining federal, provincial, state taxes, Canadians often face higher marginal rates across various income levels. That's interesting, that theirs is only 33%, ours is 37%. I thought ours was lower than theirs.
I thought ours was 40.
Well, it is when you get to a certain tax bracket, correct? Isn't it? Ours changes when you get higher, right?
Yeah, it does.
33% on the portion over $246,000. What's ours in terms of like the highest tax bracket? What's the highest U.S. Is it 37? That's what it is? What's really crazy to me is when people say the rich should pay more taxes. Okay, fine. But where do you think that's going? Where's that going? Where's the money going? Is the money going to the federal government? Do you think they're good at it? Do you think they're good at managing your money? Have you paid attention to all the shit Elon's fucking uncovered? 37% is when you make over $609,000 a year. That's you, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's me last month.
This is the thing. It's like, I'm happy to pay tax if I thought that they were doing a great job. But it's just you are being strong-armed into giving money to people that do a really shitty job of protecting your money and investing it in the country. It's a lot of it is going to bureaucracy and bullshit and a bunch of things that you don't have any say in. If you could opt out of it, if you could imagine if you pick what if you had a whole tax sheet, would you like your money to go to? Would you like your money to go to overthrowing governments? No. What if the federal government's budget was entirely based on the will of the people? You get to choose. How much of your money you want to put into drone strikes in Yemen? I say I don't want zero of my money going to that. How much money do you want to go to this or that or clean water? Okay, clean water sounds good. How much infrastructure? Yeah, fuck yeah, fix the streets.
Well, I'm kind of I agree with you, and I've just heard you say this that that everybody should have access to health care and education.
100%.
And
the whole country.
The whole country, everybody. That would rise us all up.
100%. Less losers.
Yeah.
That's how you make America great. Less losers. Less people that are saddled down with a lifetime of debt because they broke their leg. That's crazy.